From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick, and today in the hot seat is...
Manisha Iswaran.
Woo!
Jumping out of my producer little box to host today.
Yeah, this is a huge moment for The Spill because you guys would know Manisha's voice and her face and everything because she is the executive producer of The Spill. So you make the magic happen. You're working behind the scenes. If there's any problems, please direct them to her.
I'll answer those comments.
Any issues you have with the pod. But you're jumping into Weekend Watch today because you have actually seen one of the biggest movies of the year and I haven't. So that's what you're here for.
I have. I'm very excited to talk about it. I think I actually declared to you that it's my favorite new movie that I've seen this year. Huge call.
Huge call. And I was like, say no more, save it for the pod. So if you're new here, Weekend Watch is our weekly episode where we talk about the best new TV shows and movies that have just come out this week because we get to see everything before it goes out into the world.
Ooh.
So you can make an educated decision of what to watch on the weekend. So I'm going to start off with a recommendation of a show that just came out yesterday, the first few episodes.
Okay.
And the stakes were very high with this one because it is the spin-off and a sort of continuation reboot of one of the most iconic comedy TV shows in the world, The Office.
I actually have a confession to make, Laura, about The Office.
Can I just tell you, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. Okay, say what you need to say.
But I want to preface it by saying...
No, there's nothing you
There's
can
nothing
say.
I can say. I know. I've been told off throughout my life for not having seen The Office. But I know a lot about The Office to the point that on my Hinge profile, I had a prompt about how I want that forever Chris Brown. I'm sorry, I know we don't support Chris Brown, but that song...
Well, apparently you do.
Well, I just want to recreate that wedding moment at my wedding. And I had that in a Hinge prompt. And the number of Office fanatics I get on Hinge being like, the audacity of you to have this prompt when you have not seen this show, they hate me. And it hasn't gone well for my love life.
So much to unpack there.
I know, it's more than we...
First of all, I hate you for making me say this, but the men are correct. You're the wrong one here, and I hate saying that.
For the first time, the men are correct.
The men are right. So wait, let's not skate past this anytime soon. So on your Hinge profile, you just quote something from The Office.
I said something like...
but you've never seen The Office.
It's something about let's get on the same page about dancing to Forever down the aisle at our wedding because I love that scene.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm in the zeitgeist. I'm in the know. I just haven't watched it, and now it's too late, I fear.
Do you have in your Hinge profile that you're like, this quote's from The Office, but I haven't seen it?
No, I give no context.
Or does that come up in the...
It comes up when I get shamed.
So you're like catfishing these
Kind
men.
of,
because
yes.
they think they found this beautiful, smart girl who loves The Office and they're so excited. And then they're devastated when they find out that you're literally baiting them with a TV show that you have not seen.
This has turned into an expose, but maybe this new show is my...
brought it up. We could have skated right past this.
Right past.
Well...
Maybe this new show's my way in.
I mean, maybe. I would go and watch the original Office first before you did this. But anyway, sorry to those men on Hinge. So yes, I guess everyone else in the world knows this. So The Office, I mean, obviously there was the UK version of The Office that was super popular, but when they started the American version, I think a lot of people can agree it's controversial and you wouldn't know because you haven't seen either, but that is like a very beloved show. It ran from 2005 to 2013 and it still gets widely watched, quoted, talked about today, used by people to find love in a nefarious way like yourself.
Used on TikTok all over. My whole TikTok feed is still random clips of The Office and I'm like, it's 2025.
Exactly. I think when they were doing like the press for this, they were sending out, you know how like we get all the press releases, screeners, all that sort of stuff, and to hype up the show, they were saying how there's still millions and millions of mentions of The Office across all social media platforms, like to this day. And the show ended in 2013. Like that is a crazy legacy.
Yeah.
So the good news for fans of The Office, of which you are not one, is that
just the perpetual shaming that's about to continue.
You brought it up. You could have just said I haven't seen it and I would have skated past that. It's the fact that you're using it to lure men, which is a whole situation.
I'm the problem. It's me.
So this new show, The Paper, which came out in Australia on Binge today, is a follow-up of the iconic show. So it's set in Ohio and the same documentary crew, because if you've seen The Office, it's about this documentary crew that's filmed as a mockumentary. They come into this like tiny little office and just follows the characters of the characters, the people who work in that office and their lives. And it's meant to be like this very mundane setting, but it's actually like wildly funny and the people in that office are crazy. And The Paper has a very similar vibe. So it takes place at this very tiny Midwestern newspaper called the Toledo Truth Teller, a very historic newspaper that's about to shut down because, spoiler alert, no one's buying newspapers anymore.
Sad but true.
And so the same mockumentary crew from the original Office comes to this little Midwestern newspaper to chronicle like this team trying to bring it back, because we have Ned Sampson, who's kind of the lead of the show, who is the new editor-in-chief of the Toledo Truth Teller, played by Domhnall Gleeson.
I do.
You would
I do.
recognize him.
Yes,
I guess people know him from iconic films like Ex Machina. So many people would know him from About Time. So many people would know him as one of the Weasley brothers from Harry Potter. He's, So he plays Ned. And the other really good bit of casting is that Sabrina Impacatore, I never say her name right, but you would know her because she plays Valentina in the second season of The White Lotus.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen that? I don't know what to do
anymore. You're like, I don't think I can trust you with anything anymore.
The White Lotus. It's a TV show.
Not just a flower, it's a show.
So she plays Valentina in season 2, and she was one of the huge breakout stars from that show. So she plays Esmeralda Grand, a writer at the paper who's kind of very set in her ways. And so the whole show is this mockumentary crew following these people as all these like volunteer journalists come in and try and resurrect the paper. And it's done by Greg Daniels, who did the original Office. So it's got that same flair and that same comedy styling and that same kind of vibe to it. And it's a huge legacy coming off the back of The Office, one of the most iconic comedies of all time. But it's really good.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, is it one of those situations where you're a little bit worried to mess with perfection?
Yeah, I think if they tried to recreate The Office or even reboot it, I don't think it can be properly rebooted this time. I think time has passed. It's time to tell new stories. But what's more important is just got the essence of it. And so if you loved the style of The Office and you just love Greg Daniels' storytelling and his way of like making a show, then you'd really love the paper. But just come into it thinking like it's like The Office, but not The Office. Like you've got to watch it as its own show. But in saying that, there are some surprises, especially in the first episode for fans of The Office. There might be a few little nods. There might be a few little cameos. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah.
I feel like it's going to be one of those ones that diehard Office fans love or hate, because some people get really protective of their favorite shows.
Yeah. Well, again, I think because they've created a whole new world with just a similar type of storytelling, it doesn't feel like it's ruined. Like it's not going to be the same situation with Sex and the City and Just Like That fans, they're not bringing back all the same characters and like breaking people up and killing people and that sort of stuff to have new stories. Like, and you can also go into, for people like you can also go into it not watching The Office.
Okay.
Because there's a few little callbacks to it, but you don't need them to enjoy the jokes in the story. You can go in with completely fresh eyes.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll toss that up this weekend. Do I start with The Office?
No. Please watch The Office first. Watch the American Office first. I know for some people that's blasphemy, but it's my fave.
I think that's the widely held opinion.
And then watch the paper. But everyone else who's watched The Office, which is everyone else in the world, watch the paper. It's on binge now. It's such a just also I think people just want really like heartwarming comedies, and it is in a way because it has that kind of like softness and the characters are really lovely. It's a bit of a feel-good comedy at the end of the day.
Okay, we love that. And don't put it in your dating profile maybe if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't lure poor defenseless men in on Hinge with fake promises of watching a TV show.
It's a teachable moment.
It's a teachable moment for everyone. Okay, the best movie you've seen all year. The stakes are high.
I know. I can't go around just like saying that, can I? I now have to back it up. But I did see The Roses on Tuesday night, a little preview. I took my mum, so I can say it has multi-generational appeal.
Okay, good to know.
She really enjoyed it. And so, okay, where do I even begin? It's so great. Great script, great cinematography. It's directed by the same guy who did Bombshell, Jay Roach.
Right.
Yeah, so when I went in, I was like, I feel like I'm in for a good time, even though obviously a very different kind of movie. So for people who don't know anything about it, it's a satirical comedy. I've seen it called a dark comedy. I mean, I get where they're coming from. It's not that dark. There's dark undertones.
Okay, good to know.
But it essentially follows the life of a married couple over the years, the ins and outs of their long-term relationship. So it's Olivia Colman opposite Benedict Cumberbatch.
I mean, that casting is superb. Like, that's the sell line, right?
Amazing. Well, and not even that. The supporting cast, we've got Ncuti Gatwa.
Oh, my God. I'm obsessed with him. I haven't seen this movie because Em and I were on a trip for work, so we missed the premiere. But I've watched every press clip with him talking because I just find him so funny and so hot
funny.
and so charismatic. I've watched every press clip of him interviewing for this movie, so I feel like I know him.
Yeah, I mean, we all fell in love with him, obviously, Sex Education, and he went on to do Doctor Who. Like, he's just such a huge star. There's also Andy Samberg, there's Kate McKinnon, Alison Janney. Like, it's a great supporting cast. And one of the things that comes through in such a stark way in this movie is the American style of humor versus the British style.
Yeah.
So a lot of the American comedians, they obviously have that very bolshy, like, it is what it is. It's just in your face kind of comedy. And then there's the back and forth between Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch, who have amazing chemistry.
I bet they do. Of course they do.
It's chemistry in all the ways, Laura. There's chemistry in, there's like sexual chemistry, but there's also like that tongue-in-cheek humor kind of chemistry. Yeah. And I mean, this is like a hot take for me. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but like my generation, I think, wouldn't have viewed Benedict Cumberbatch as like a sex symbol.
What?
As in, okay, maybe this is just what I took away from this.
Isn't that what he's known for, mostly being a sex symbol?
Okay, to me, I just think of the guy who couldn't pronounce penguin in the BBC documentary.
Okay, he feels bad about that, okay? He hates when people bring that up.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah, I hate to bring the story, but for anyone who doesn't know, Benedict Cumberbatch very famously narrated a wildlife documentary. He thought he was doing a good thing, and this is how he said penguin.
Let's have a look. Listen carefully.
And the last thing you might expect to see here is penguins. These are Fiordland crested penguins, named after this fauna.
As he has pointed out, it's the fault of the editors.
Yeah, or the producer or someone.
He was throwing blame all over the place because he said no one picked him up. That's not how
penguin.
Penguin.
But okay, I guess, lusted for this man because I guess there's a bit of an age gap. I believe he's 49. Like, you know, there's a bit of
That doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't. Okay, so.
Just so he has a whole very intense network of fans who like follow him around and have merch and stuff, and they're called the Cumber Bitches.
Oh, I didn't know this, but I didn't know that was like a feeling of longing.
Yeah, of course, a feeling of longing.
I thought maybe they just like love his acting. Anyway, in my head, I was just like, great actor, but he's got like some sexual moments.
Yeah, he does.
I bet. Spicy man, spicy little nugget. So I mean, that was one take. Yeah. But I will say, I think because it's hilarious the way it's scripted, their back and forth, it's so good. But then it's also a really interesting. Like, I guess as a third perspective to their relationship, watching it really takes you on this journey of like being someone looking at a relationship you're not involved in and being like, oh my God, why can you guys not figure it out? Like, you're great, but like, but they're so in it that they can't see it. And yeah, it just goes on a whole crazy journey. I think you would love it. Like, to the point, I can't imagine not anyone loving it.
So it's based on the original movie, The War of the Roses, which is a similar thing. Where, okay, that I've seen and that I like. So no, I really want to see this. Again, work sent me away, so I missed the premiere, but I do want to see it. Because everyone, exactly. But everyone in this movie, like as you're saying, the cast is incredible, the director's incredible. It's based on a really iconic movie. You now know Benedict is hot. That's so important for you to know.
Huge turning point for me.
Huge moment. I can just think of all the movies I can now go and show you that he's hot in it.
Just sexy Cumberbatch.
December, you're the new president.
I thought I'm coming in with this fresh new take. I was like, he's weirdly attractive in this, Laura. You'll never believe me. And you're like, no. I'm one of the Cumberbitches.
Yeah, well, coming with a hot take that Benedict Cumberbatch is a hot man is interesting. It's kind of like saying, like, did you know that Margot Robbie's beautiful? Or did you not know?
It is not that simple.
Yes, it is. Or did you know that she's blonde? That's kind of what you just said.
Well, not only is he hot, he acts so well in this. And there's a really interesting sort of commentary on gender roles and like, you know, like when one person gets to pursue their dreams and one's home with the kids, where the resentment builds. I won't spoil too much, but it's a must-see. Like, I really enjoyed it. I can't think of a movie that had me laughing that much the whole way through recently.
That's good. Because, like, wait, do we even say the plot? Because they're, like, breaking up and they're, like, attacking each other kind of, right?
So that kind of comes later. There's a lot about, initially they show how they got together. They show quite a lot of their relationship while it's good. Yeah. And then they show it when it gets really bad and they sort of show that slow spiral. And they did it in such a good way with the script that you're like, how did we get here? How did we get here? You guys were so good. How did we get here? And why? Yeah. So, but I think it's really interesting because the original was Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
Yes.
And I think it's actually based on a book, but I think the British element that they've added to this gives it a little spice that, wasn't there before.
So important. So The Roses, at the cinemas.
Yes,
Go
came
and
out
have a cinema
last
date.
night.
Yes, love that. You loved it. Your mum loved it.
And
We've
who else
just-
do you need to hear from,
Exactly.
really, other than me and my mum?
The
the
two pe-
authority and the Cumberbitches.
The two people whose movies opinions I trust. And now you have a newfound crush in this undiscovered talent, Benedict Cumberbatch. So,
I know. And
so
what
happy
more
for
could I
you.
hope to take away from a movie, really?
Well, thank you so much for bringing that to the table today and filling in on one of the best movies of the year.
Yes, you're so welcome. I hope everyone sees it and loves it.
Well, thank you so much, Manisha, for jumping behind the mic today, out of the producer booth and behind the mic, even though you've said some highly inflammatory things.
I
We're
know,
glad
I'm
you're
not going to
here.
be allowed back. So if no one hears from me, do a welfare check.
Well, I mean, you're the boss, so you'll be able to override that on this podcast. And thank you all so much for listening to The Spill today. And don't forget to follow The Spill on TikTok and Instagram. That's where we post all our videos. And you can also let us know what you're watching and loving. And The Spill is produced by the newest fan of the Benedict Cumberbatch fan club, Manisha Iswaran. Bye.
Bye.